After 6 amazing weeks in Argentina, it's time for me to head off somewhere new. I'm off to Paraguay, and I've just been dropped off at the bus station by the Uber from the hostel, and time to get a ticket. Now, I looked online a couple of days ago. There are tickets going directly to the capital, Asunción, I think it's called. And I've always bought the tickets directly from the bus station because it is cheaper. So it is just after 8 o'clock in the morning. I did leave the hostel while everybody was still asleep. Right, where is ticket offices? Now there'll be people watching this going, well, you should be going to Iguazu. That's the place to go to. See the falls, then cross the border. Unfortunately, budget is saying no. I looked at the cost of going into Iguazu, the falls itself, and I just couldn't afford it. Right, I'm looking for anything international. Just found. So I've just tried the first one that's got Asunción on. They've got a bus leaving at 2 o'clock, but they've said El Puki. There it is. Try these. Well, that was easier than what I thought. I have a ticket. It's leaving at 9:55, so I've got basically just over an hour and a half, an hour and 3/4 to chill out and work out what I'm going to do for the next 2 hours. So it gets into Asunción. I need to learn how to say that properly. At 5:30 tonight. Now I need to find out if there's any, if it's an hour ahead or anything. So one of the main reasons I said I'd be here for 8 o'clock, because I knew there was something about 9:30, 10 o'clock, was I could get here early enough, have some breakfast, because I didn't want to start going to get some food and cooking in a hostel just as I'm packing and waking everybody up. Now, last night I did go through the British government's website on foreign entries to countries, and for Paraguay it said that the usual free visa up to 3 months, but if you're going by land, make sure you get your passport stamped at the border, as buses have a habit of just driving straight through. So I did a bit of Google Translate with the girl and just said the bus does stop at the border because I need to have my passport stamped. See, is all I got. And the ticket has cost me 55,000. It's a bit more than what I expected. 55,000 pesos, but Paraguay is a bit cheaper than Argentina, and I've probably had to pay that anyway going across over from Iguazu, so it didn't really matter. Right, there is food down here. Those tables. Well, I've managed to get some breakfast. My usual coffee, con leche, not a cappuccino this time, and 2 pastries, both of which are a little bit warm. I think that's Now I've just realised, I've just checked, the timings for Paraguay is exactly the same as Argentina. So getting in at 5:30 in the afternoon, that's a long bus ride. So I might have to get a few snacks on the bus. There'll be a shop open, because that's not going to last me all the way. But I'm going to enjoy this. That went down well. Just what I needed. So I've had my breakfast, which was basically 2 croissants, both sweet, one with a bit of jam on. I've updated my eSIM to include Paraguay. That's a bit more expensive than Argentina. And I've also put a hostel for tonight, which is £5 for the night, including breakfast. But I think the breakfast is a bonus because of my level on booking.com. It's free, don't care. So I think I'm all set. So it's only just after 8:30. I've still got loads of time. Like very exciting. It's now 10 to 10. I've had 2 coffees and El Puki. In fact, there's 2 buses just turned up. So one of them is mine. Just got to work out which one it is. That one's got Paraguay at the front, so I'm assuming it's this one. So I have got snacks to last me 7 hours. But I'll just make sure this is the right bus. I think it's the right bus. We've got the bags on, so just in the queue to get on the bus. So this bus station itself looks brand new, and it's expensive. So 2 coffees and then 2 pastries cost me 7,700. This bag of snacks has cost me 31,000. Wow, that's me on. I asked him about immigration, stamped my passport. See, I'm next to the water. That's a bonus. 7 hours. Ooh. Next stop, border. This is the border. Paraguay, I think. I've not been checked out of Argentina, so I'm not too sure. To be honest, I'm not too sure if I'm meant to be filming. But basically I just followed everybody else coming off. It's some sort of immigration. And there's a sign over that says welcome to Paraguay. Right, I'm back in the bus. That was unusual. So I've just asked the bus driver about, do I need a stamp for Argentina to leave? No, he said only this. But I'll find out when I get to the hostel. And then there was one guy going through all the bags of people coming through into Paraguay. He saw my microphone, he saw my camera in my pocket, wanted to go through my bag. So lots of my electronic stuff, which is just basically all my wires. And then the bus driver came over and went, he's okay. And they all smiled, they all laughed, and I just carried on walking. So it's 10 to 3 and I'm in Paraguay. And that is me just arrived in the capital of Paraguay. I would say that was probably an uneventful trip. The border was not as crazy as I was expecting. Right, which is the way out? So I didn't get an exit stamp from Argentina. It's not the end of the world. I will have to check it out. But I've got an entry stamp for this country. So the centre is about 4 miles away. So I'm on the outskirts. Uber does work because I am not walking 4 miles. So this is Asunción. Oh, it's a bit bright here. Oh, a little market. I just need to work out what I'm doing. So I am here early. I guess they put a later time just in case there are any problems in border. Any foreigners that'll have any problems, like me. But I just went with the flow. I think I'll go on the shade here and just work out what I'm going to do. I mean, on the trip, the snacks lasted well. I was very, very sensible. I didn't go crazy and eat everything in the first hour. Makes a change. I had about 3 snoozes because I do like my snoozes. Right, Uber, and because I've got my Paraguay eSIM, it looks like I can get to the hostel now. The traffic coming in was horrendous, and I mean it was very slow. It is a Friday afternoon, so not too sure. Right, I've got an Uber booked. Get my phone working again. It's costing 25,000 Paraguayan Guayaran, I think it's called. Works out about £3, which isn't too bad. I was tempted to get a motorbike taxi, but I'm not too sure if it would be able to take these two as well as my heavy body. And I'm staying at a hostel called Hostel La Petite Maison de Diane, which is the little house of Diane in French. French? I know more French than Spanish. It's 4 minutes away. So does it feel any different to Argentina yet? Don't know. I mean, the bus station wasn't like a typical Argentinian bus station. That's because I'm not in Argentina no more. It feels a bit hectic, but it's a capital city, so what am I to expect? We'll find out when we get to the centre. And here is my Uber, and that's me here. I'm in a back street. I mean, the hostel's colourful. It's £5 a night, as I said. The room I've got, already just dumped my bags. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4-man room. Shower, bathroom through there. Upstairs is a social area. I've already met a Ukrainian, a Chilean guy, and the guy showing me around was from Korea, South Korea. International. So probably a straightforward day. Nothing like my usual, oh my god, what am I doing travel days. So yeah. But how long am I going to be in Paraguay for? How long I'm going to be in this capital for? I don't know. But we'll find out. We'll find out how good Paraguay is compared to Argentina. But if you've enjoyed this video, then all you got to do is press that like button. If you want to see what Paraguay is like, then subscribe and watch the next video. But until the next time, bye bye for now.